This is Appalling News. I'm Paul Chatham. Recently, the National Multiple Sclerosis Society booted out a 90-year-old volunteer for not understanding preferred pronouns. Fran, whose husband died of MS, had been a volunteer for more than 60 years, yet she was asked to step away from her role because of statements that were viewed as not aligned with the Society's policy of inclusion. Without Fran's permission, the Society included preferred pronouns beside her name in correspondences. When she asked what did they mean, that was enough to anger commissars at the Society, who turfed her. Originally, the MS Society refused to apologize, but under pressure, and we suspect a massive suspension of donations, the Society excreted this statement through their orifice. The National Multiple Sclerosis Society apologizes to our longtime dedicated volunteer Fran Itkoff. By dedicated, they mean old. We knew you were going to give us trouble. Recently, we asked Fran to step down from her role as a group leader because of statements made that we viewed as not aligning with our recently implemented diversity, equity, and inclusion policy. What this means is when we say diversity, we don't mean Jews. We realize now that we made a mistake and we should have had more conversations with Fran before making this decision. What they are saying here is that we had no intention of talking to Fran, but it was a PR and fundraising disaster, and we were forced to write this against our will. While we acted at the time with the best intentions, we did not have clear protocols in place. This line turns this into a non-apology. The Soviet Union had protocols, often in very cold locations. We should have spent more time with Fran to help her understand why, as an organization, we are dedicated to building a diverse and inclusive movement where everyone has equitable access to the care, connections, and support they need to live their best lives. Here, they are saying we should have brought a baseball bat to the meeting. We apologized to Fran directly and reached out to her to find a way to continue to work together. Actually, they never did reach out directly, so much as mailed her discount coupons for support hose and have obviously no intention of working with her again. In the spirit of continuous learning, we are focused on evaluating our processes and fortifying our learning to ensure our team members are equipped to the best ways to implement all of our policies. Here they are saying that they needed to do a better job covering their asses. Finally, we want everyone to feel confident and supported in their roles. This work is a journey requiring commitment, accountability, transparency, and courage. While work might be a journey, the apology should not have been one. Just apologize to the woman, you cowards. You never even mentioned that perhaps your DEI implementation was weak on the ageist front. Ending this on a serious note, I cannot conceive for the life of me how an implementation of DEI as busted and dishonest a system as it is so inflexible and rigid that it does not have the capacity or humanity to let a 90-year-old woman live out the rest of her life doing something that provides her meaning? Are you that overrun with volunteers? What was the harm? Perhaps the policy is the problem. Perhaps you are just cold-hearted, awful people. Preferred pronouns are hostage demands. You are just a pack of liars and just really hated Fran and wanted to get rid of her. Back to Canada for the usual insanity. CSIS, our Canadian Security Intelligence Service, or Service Canadien du Renseignement de Sécurité. In Canada, it's a jailable offense to not include the French translation of a government agency, they admitted it closely monitored the activities of the parents' rights movement, particularly those opposing gender-affirming care. By gender-affirming care, concerned parents mean not giving chemical castration drugs to children. Supporters of the pharmaceutical cash grab industry don't like the term chemical castration drugs and instead prefer, "Hey kid, would you like some candy?" CSIS admits to monitoring what they've labeled as parental rights activists, or as we commonly call them, hockey moms. CSIS compares parents driving minivans to neo-Nazis because clearly they have nothing better to do. When pressed, CSIS admitted that all the violence to date had come from belligerent trans rights activists attacking protesting parents. Perhaps CSIS is monitoring the wrong group. And finally, a quick follow-up to the Toronto District School Board's "all white people are bad" story. It seems the Ministry of Ed has forced the TDSB to take down the controversial guideline as it was deemed inappropriate, divisive, and sounded a lot like Mao's Cultural Revolution that killed 2 million people. It is being reviewed. The 40-page document says it was built around a handful of core beliefs. Among them is that education is a colonial construct that centers whiteness and Eurocentricity, and therefore it must be actively decolonized, which means start homeschooling your kids now. The minister said that perhaps it would be better to concentrate on student achievement instead. Duh. TDSB spokesweasel Ryan Bird said,
"It is our duty to address these issues and understand the lived experiences of our students and staff."
What student lived experiences? Having spent their entire life staring at their phones? The lived experience of staff who spend most of their time at Free Palestine rallies? We'll keep you posted. This is Appalling News. I'm Paul Chappell.